And we should be live. Hello, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. I hope you're all comfortable sitting in your chairs. I hope the audio and the video is good quality. It's been a while since we've been on the deck, so I'm very happy to be back. Thank you all for tuning in. We have a lot of things to talk about, but before we jump into all the key topics that we want to mention, all the questions you have for us, I'm going to introduce our first guest for today in the name of Gabriel. So you might have seen him before. Gabriel, welcome back to the deck.
Hello. Nice to see everyone here today. Very excited to share season 4 details.
Cool. Thank you for being here again. I'm sure you have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about.
Yep.
Our second guest for today, I don't know if anybody in the chat can guess who it's going to be. Can you guess? I'm waiting for an answer on the chat, but... Well, the second guess is Ernest. It's not Sam this time, so big surprise. But Ernest has been on the deck. Ernest has been on the deck, 3-4 times now?
Yeah.
3 times? Yeah, 3 times,
Right.
I
So
think.
welcome back. Thank you for being here again. Gabriel, you've been named the cool shirt guy because I think it's the second time you come here and you have
Yeah.
a cool shirt.
Man, I need to keep this up.
So Gabe, Ernest, for those who in the chat who maybe haven't been on watching the stream before, who don't know you, do you want to introduce yourself very briefly? What do you do on Skull and Bones?
Ooh. Gabe, you want to start with this one?
What?
Introduce yourself.
I guess since I've appeared last. So I'm associate content director on Skull and Bones. So pretty much cover a lot of things regarding world activities, the things you do, events, the narrative. Very excited to answer those questions if I spot them on chat.
Yeah,
Cool.
boy. And I am Ernest. I'm a lead game designer these days. We're working with the 3Cs and the AI. So what you see on the ships, how you play with the ships, and sometimes what monsters and what big battles you fight in the Indian Ocean. Yep.
Cool. So I think between the two of you, we should have plenty to talk about. Remember, the focus of today is really going to be on talking about Season 4, what's coming with Season 4 next week, right? It's coming out next week. For those of you who don't know, who haven't seen it, we have a new narrative trailer coming out explaining a little bit of the background of what's happening in Season 4. Gabriel and Ez, you probably can talk about it a little bit more. But before that, I'm going to show the trailer for everybody who hasn't seen it yet. It's available on YouTube, so you can also watch it again later if you want. But for now, please enjoy our narrative trailer for Season 4.
Infiltrated the ranks of the most powerful kingpins to hunt down Along the Indian coast, Vikram Rajan led a peaceful life with his beloved. Yet fate can be cruel. In pursuit of a powerful artifact, the Dutch merchant companies sent their most vicious commodore to massacre Vikram's village. His wife, warden of the artifact, was taken captive. Obsessed with finding her, Vikram turned to piracy and infiltrated the ranks of the most powerful kingpins to hunt down the DMC. But when he finally found her, it was too late. All that remained was the last of her fading soul. As their battered ship sank to the depths, the artifact manifested its power, saving Vikram, but twisting his very being. Now he stirs to the stench of death, permeating the Indian Ocean. Wielding a dark power in the name of vengeance, he rises from shadows of the deep.
All right. Apologies if the sound was a bit loud at the beginning. Hope it didn't destroy anybody's ears too bad. But yeah, essentially this is Season 4. Gabriel, Ernest, do you want to explain a little bit on the narrative background? Who's Vikram? What his motivations are? What is Season 4 bringing to players basically in terms of story?
Yeah, I guess to quickly cover what's going on with Season 4. So, we spent year 1 looking at the different Sea Lords, Le Pest, Two Back Twins, and Li Tianing. And, this is like, cool, they're Fire Lords, but how are they all involved? And really, Season 4 is about finally kind of answering some of the big questions that we we opened in the base game. Things about Freeman and the heist, and what happened to the Shadow. And so, in season 4, Vikram essentially is coming back, as the Sea Lord, now on board the Risen Shadow. So I think season 4 is exciting in helping to at least close up some of these questions, and also expand upon the lore that we've built up so far in the game.
Cool, exciting. So I already see questions in the chat asking what ship is Vikram using. So I don't know if you can show this, but can you talk about, I don't know, which ship is coming with season 4 maybe? I don't know if Ernest or Gabriel want to
Ooh.
take that.
Take it away, Ernest.
Okay, so in season 4, Vikram comes with his own large ship. It's a customized version of it's a custom large warship, and we are calling it the Kotia. Yep, it's very interesting. You should see the concept art for it when it does come out. And you should definitely play the boss fight when it comes out. But on my screen, I'm actually playing what we call the Garuda. The Garuda is the new season 4 ship. Oh, take a look. Revel in its glory. So basically, it's a sniper-based ship, and it really excels at dealing piercing damage. Let me see if I can pull up the captain's screen, and you can sort of see some of the perks that the Garuda has. And one of this is actually is it this one? Yep. Basically, the Garuda has multiple can equip multiple long guns in the front in the bow of the ship. So this is something that we don't have in our other ships. Unfortunately, here I have a ballista equipped, so I'll show you in a while what that means and what that looks like. But it's a sniper-based ship, so it's lower on the health stats, but higher on the DPS stats as well. And it's more performant at long range and dealing piercing damage.
So can you talk to us a little bit about the design aspect of the ship as well? Because I think the sails in particular might look familiar to some players, but it's not a ship that people have seen in the game before, right?
Yep. So actually, this was loosely based off the Ganja that we saw on the AI ships as well, and we actually wanted to follow quite closely to the Ganja. However, we realized that we wanted to take it in its own direction, have it realize its own sniper visuals as well, and hence we actually took a spin, named it differently as a result of that feedback that we had. So the sails are not exactly the same as the Ganja as a result. It's actually Latin sails this time around.
Cool. Yeah, so it's not the Ganja for people who thought it looked like it. It does look like it, but it's not the Ganja. The Ganja, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, and it's still a ship that we're like kind of keeping on the side to maybe release in the future, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, cool. All right, so Gabriel, are you playing as well? What do you have on your ship?
Well, I have some long guns equipped, but actually I was just about to head back to the dock to switch out to something more suited. Oh, here's a new event showing up. What's going on here is we've actually introduced some new smaller scale events, and we really built this to kind of spice up, the voyage while you're out at sea. It's something that's a little bit different from world events. So these aren't really meant to add a whole lot of challenge, but they're to add an element of surprise as well as you journey. So, what you see here, the ambush is just one of a few events that we've added, and it's something that we want to continue to expand upon. So right now, I'm just gonna run away so I can quickly hit the dock and switch out my loadout.
Cool. Just to answer a couple of comments I see on the chat. So yes, we do have an issue with the stream category, which I believe will impact the Twitch drops. I'm very sorry about this. I don't think we'll be able to fix it for this stream, but we'll figure it out to allow you to get the Twitch drops in the next time or something like that. Sorry about that. But cool. I know we have a lot of questions. Should we start getting into them? Are you ready to answer the questions we've collected from
Depends.
Reddit, Discord?
Depends on how spicy the questions are. Yes. Yes.
So some of
yes.
them are quite spicy. I think some of them are quite interesting. So, to give context, right now we're mostly trying to talk about season 4, right? Like Ernest and Gabriel
Yep.
are currently playing season 4 content, so the build is not released publicly yet, but obviously being in the development studio, we can access it and show you some of the content. So if you have any questions about season 4, if there's anything specific you'd like to know or see about what's coming, feel free to ask us. We'll try to show you or at least talk about it. Of course, more information will come on YouTube and on our channels as we get closer to release. But other than that, we can also talk about what's going to happen transitioning from season 3 to season 4. And I know a lot of you are also eager to find out what's going to happen after season 4. We'll do our best to answer questions, but obviously we cannot reveal too much details about what's coming in year 2. What we can start by saying is that yes, year 2 is coming, and there's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening. With that
so
being said,
exciting.
First question of the day, and I've seen it on the chat already. Are we planning to introduce at some point an option to fund all manufacturers at once?
Ooh.
Well, I can take it. So we know this question's been asked a few times, both in the insider programs as well as feedback, and even personally for me, it's like as I'm building out my empire season to season, it's like man, there's like so many manufacturers to fund, but there's definitely an aspect of a fund all button, but also part of it is determining what helm commodity that you actually want to produce, because a little bit of a preview is that in year 2 we are looking at how we can further expand upon what the helm empire can do, and so the find all actually is something that while it's valuable in the current state of the game where you generate pieces of 8, we're definitely looking at ways that you can easily manage your production in the Helm Empire in a more streamlined way. So definitely something on our radar.
Cool. Another question which I just picked up from the chat, so I'm going to put you a bit on the spot here. I know we talked about it throughout the year. I know it's feedback we've been receiving. I think at least in season 2, are we planning to add armor transmog in the future as well? I know the answer to that one, so if you don't know what the answer, I can help.
Yeah, I believe so. At least in my conversations with some of the teams, it is definitely on their radar. For it, as far as I know, I think we want to find ways to make sure that things like readability is still capped in it. Like I'm sure Ernest has something to say about making sure armor transmog doesn't affect like the combat experience. Anything I'm missing out, Alex?
No. So I just wanted to say that I also know there's a lot of work being done right now in how cosmetics work for the future. So there might be some changes in the different options of cosmetics we basically offer and how they apply to certain element of the ship or the entire ship. And I think that's why transmog hasn't happened yet. It's because it's a little bit more complex than it sounds. And we want to make sure we do it properly, basically, so that people can really make the ship look like the way they want based on either the cosmetics that they buy or the armors that they equip on the ship. So it's not been in your, it's been on the list for a long time, and we're just making sure we do it properly.
Yep.
Cool. Question about season 4 content and seasonal reset information. Who wants to answer what we're doing about the seasonal reset?
Ooh. Well, I guess we can all speak to it to some extent. So I think with regards to seasonal reset, we've definitely seen the comments about what all this reset deal is about, because we know managing an empire is one of the first things you do, and eventually you kind of reach the same endpoint by the end of the season. And the question we ask ourselves is what are we doing to change things up? So I can share that actually season 4 will be the last season which we will do a seasonal reset, and then from going into year 2, season 1, we are looking to add a way to make sure the Helm Empire is able to actually provide new options, as I previously mentioned, and then we can move on from the reset and make engaging with the Empire more meaningful.
Yes, if I can add to this, so obviously if you've been playing since launch, you know that the seasonal formula that we've had through our year one was that every season you build your empire, and then the new season arrives and your antagonist arrives, and then you kind of have to rebuild your empire again. So like Gabriel said, we are changing that formula a little bit in the future. We can't share too much details, but if you have any feedback on this aspect of the game in particular about the Helm Empire, what you would like us to add to the Helm Empire side of the game, if I can say, please give us your feedback. And same thing about the seasonal reset. We're trying to move away from it, but let us know how you feel about it and what you'd like us to do. So your feedback will really help us in making sure we are always, improving the features we have in the game and building upon the content and the mechanics we have as well to make sure that it fits what our players' expectations essentially. So for season 4 specifically, you can expect the same kind of reset we had in season 2, season 3, but moving forward we are going to try to move away from this. Question for you, Ernest.
Ooh, yes.
It's your
I'm
favorite
ready.
question every time you show up on the stream. I'm sure
let me
you have
guess.
to answer it.
Large ships.
Yes. What's happening with large ships?
Large ships are my favorite question. Well, we have more of a plan and more of a design than we used to have. I can't share too many details. It's coming. Not so soon. Not so soon. But it's a little bit more concrete than when you guys last asked me this question.
Okay, can you tell us if large ships are currently playable on an internal version of the game?
I've played a prototype.
Okay.
I quite like where it's going. Yep.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, no, I know you can't say more, so I won't.
Oh yeah, Alex,
I
you
won't
ask me
push you.
difficult questions.
I would love for you to be able to say more, but I want to say yes to all of your answers in the chat. But no. So large ships are definitely coming, and they're coming relatively soon, sooner than they were 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. But yeah, you'll get more information about all this probably early 2025. So either through this stream or through the trailers or various events we'll organize, you will be getting more information about large ships very soon. Other question, a bit more tricky this one. Map extension. Who wants to talk about map extension?
Ooh, very, very spicy. So I think map extension, and I know for those who know their geography, like clearly the areas in the hidden parts of the map are indeed India and Arabia, and the question is, when are they coming? We definitely want to look at expanding the map, but we also do want to make sure that we're doing it in a meaningful way. So what we have in the game right now with regards to St. Anne and Tuluk Banjara, it's like as much as they function as dens, we also want to actually relook at how dens perform, like what is their unique visual identity and gameplay identity. What does one den offer that the other doesn't, and so that is the den is effectively the heart of a new region, and we want to make sure that from there we actually build out meaningful things you encounter also in the seas around the den as it radiates out. So the kinds of challenges, the content, the location, so all of these are definitely a big part. It requires us to relook at things like the characters that we want to introduce, like as you probably noticed, even something like the Helm, like you have the Helm sisters both in St. and Tuluk Banjara, and who exactly is that mystery Helm sister in either Arabia and India, so, and how do they factor into playing what yeah
Great timing to answer questions, right?
yeah with the Helm. Oops, and I did okay. Maybe I need some help from Ernest to take down our new seasonal boss.
Where are you?
So do you wanna take a short break from what you were talking about and talk a little bit about this specific fight? I know you have a lot of information about it, so maybe you wanna
Oh.
Yeah.
maybe you wanna talk about it a bit more and explain to players what's different about Vikram and what's cool about Vikram.
Right on. So Vikram is our take on what magic looks like, or what fantasy looks like in Skull and Bones. So it plays a little bit into like pirate legends, when you hear of ghost ships, when you hear of monsters and all of that. And Vikram is a ship that, like our initial Road Mangodin, the ghost ship, it flies, it teleports, it does a lot more than that. It just summons giant monoliths. It summons, buoys that has little shields on it. So when in our design process, we were wondering what kind of cool new mechanics we wanted to give the player, and to bring to Skull and Bones, we wondered, magic, what could we do? And so we started exploring things like shields, barriers, and these are some of the elements that having fantasy allows us to explore. And so when you play against Vikram, he will have lots of... He's the most complex fight we've ever created. It was very, very challenging to build him. We had to send him... We had to do multiple tests, get some feedback from that and change it. So when you do play against Vikram, make sure you bring some status effect resistances, because Vikram will charge a status effect on you, and that status effect will actually stack. Yeah.
Yes.
And the more stacks of the status effect means the faster you die.
And I'm just gonna use that opportunity to send a big thank you to everybody who played Season 4 in the Insider program, because I know we received a ton of feedback and we've done quite a few adjustments to Vikram in particular, the fight, to make it a bit more easy to understand what's happening, and to basically make it a more easily to understand but also challenging and fun battle. On this note, and I'm going to be spoiling a little bit of the content that's coming with Season 4, but that's the goal of the stream, so that's okay. Can you tell us a little bit about another key feature that's coming with Season 4, which I'm personally very excited about, is called the Mythic difficulty?
Ooh, Mythic.
Fine.
Okay.
What is your ticket?
So to give context for everybody, your favorite community developer right here has been bothering those people for what, 2 or 3 or 4 seasons now, saying
Yes.
we have people who think the game is too easy, we need more challenging content, we need harder stuff to do, we need stuff that people really struggle with, and basically you all came up with Mythic difficulty, right?
Yes.
That's your answer to that feedback.
Yes. The answer is yes. So one of the things that we had looked at our data in the past couple of months is that most of our players are finding the game a little bit too easy. So in Season 1 and Season 2, we observed that the game was too hard, and then we tried to make it a little bit more accessible for solo players. And then later on, we also realized that, you know what, it's not hard enough. So we're trying to make this balance between accessibility and exclusivity. So in Season 4 will be the first time we experience what we call Mythic difficulty. And Mythic difficulty requires you to bring 6 players into a new arena, your own arena, where you won't have other players coming into this server. And you can take on Vikram in all its 6v1 glory. Yeah. We expect it to be one of the toughest challenges that we've ever provided players. You will have to bring the correct loadout, you have to bring a fully upgraded and kitted ship for this fight. And everything will be dialed up to 11, and then we'll review the feedback, we'll review the data, and we'll refine it even further. We actually plan to mythicize more content that we already have in our game. So you can stay tuned for more information when we share a little bit more about our year 2, early next year, I believe.
So just to clarify a little bit, you mentioned arena, you mentioned joining another server. So what you're saying is that when you engage with the Mythic difficulty of Vikram, it won't be like in the open world for everybody to either engage with or
Exactly.
get destroyed by, right?
Yep.
So it's really like something you actively join, so that you have to consciously engage in the fight and It's not something that's just gonna. If like for example, if you're like me, you're a noob, you're just sitting around. You're not gonna suddenly see the mythic difficulty of Vikram and get
Nope.
destroyed.
In fact, you will have to farm a currency from killing Vikram in the base world. You'll be able to gain the access. You'll be able to gain access to go fight mythic Vikram.
Very cool. I'm very excited to see how people respond to that actually. So yeah, looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I heard rumors that actually some people on our dev team even soloed Mythic.
On the dev team?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if players manage that pretty fast, but
Well, I would
That'll
be
be-
very impressed to see that.
that will be for me to come back to you saying it's still not hard enough.
Yeah, but you definitely have to bring the correct loadout. You have to have your strategy in mind when you approach mythic. Yep. I think we got when me and Gabriel were testing it, we got slayed like I think we brought 6 of us and we got
Yeah, it's
slayed
like
9 or 11 times.
yeah.
Yeah.
An interesting question from the chat: will the mythic difficulty have special rewards behind it?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So we definitely know you want your bragging rights with defeating the mythic, and so I think one of the key rewards that you would get from defeating the mythic is actually a very special ship aura that only is rewarded when you defeat the mythic version of Vikram, and it looks very, very cool.
Cool. Looking forward to it. There's a question that is more about next year, and I know once again we can't talk too much about year 2 because first of all we're still working on it. Second of all, we have plans to reveal what's going to happen in year 2, but it's not anytime soon. I mean, it's not just for today. It's more like coming at the beginning of next year. But there's a question basically saying, is it true that the current year was about introducing the kingpins such as La Paix, Super Twins, and next year we are moving away from this seasonal formula and trying to change that formula a little bit?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So as Alexi mentioned, we can't reveal too much about details. We definitely are planning a proper reveal soon, sometime early next year. But what I can say is that what the formula was in year 1, where we introduced a new Sea Lord in seasons 1 through 4, will be tweaked actually, and I think the high level takeaway that we want you to take away from what we are going to change for year 2 is actually introducing new ways for you to play the game, and I think that's about looking at ways in terms of expanding depth and the variety of things you can actually do in the game. So there's a lot of really exciting things that we have planned, and yeah, I wish I could share more, but that's about the extent that I think I can share at this point.
Yeah, no, and I just want to reiterate something we said as well, is that we are very much looking at what people talk about on social media, how they feel about each season. And although we're very happy with how year 1 went, like each season introduced new characters, new weapons, new ships, new ways to tackle, new challenging content, we also know that some players feel a bit like there's a certain fatigue that's coming in, right? Like every season is it's different in terms of content, but it follows a similar pattern, if I want to say. So we heard that feedback, and we do want to shake things up a little bit in the future. Again, we can't reveal how exactly, but you can expect year 2 to be quite different from the way we've done year 1. People say that season 2 will always be my favorite.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
do believe there's a lot of Huback Twins fans in the chat, because I've seen a lot of mentions of Huback Twins. People want to take sides with the Huback Twins in the future. I don't know if it's the hairstyle or because they're French. I don't know.
Well, tell us what you love about the Huback Twins. I think we're very interested in what is it about our characters that we've released so far from seasons 1 to 4 at this point, and we definitely want to still continue to introduce new compelling characters that expand upon the world and lore of Skull and Bones.
Cool. quick question, and I don't know if it's possible. Does any of you have any of the new season 4 weapons and armor on their ship that you can maybe show a little bit about? And, like, I'm sure people in the chat are interested in seeing the statistics.
Right on. So, season 4, right? New weapons, new ships. I already showed some of them in a playthrough earlier if you've been paying attention. So let's take a look at some of them. I won't... Well, set a number. Let's set 2, right? Let's not spoil everything for players. So you can find out during the season. Alright. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys... I saw some of you guys ask a question in the chat. Is that a shield generator? The answer is yes. It is a shield generator. Vikram uses shields, and one of the items that he drops is actually a shield generator, and it's our take on deployable shields in Skull and Bones. So let's see the details over here. It can deploy a soul shield, and this soul shield actually is a protective dome that is weak against piercing damage. Right, so that's one fun one. We expect to see this in some of our play styles, where perhaps you're playing a sniper and you decided that, hey, you know what? I'm a little bit too paper. I'm gonna die to a few hits. You could you could put down a deployable shield, the soul shield buoy, and then you could stand in that dome and be protected for a short period of time. While you're in this dome, you could fire out and hit targets, but targets cannot fire in.
Cool. That's a brand new mechanic from season 4, right?
Yep. And it's a epic drop. I think it's from Vikram, but it's one of the later versions of Vikram.
So is it from the regular version of Vikram or the mythic version of Vikram?
I think we're talking about the Kingpin version. That's the one that is one below the mythic version of Vikram. Yep. Okay. Another one. Let's do the second one. Some people have also asked, is that the new torpedoes? The answer is yes. That is the new torpedoes. This is the Haka. The Haka is... it has a little perk that once it's armed, it reaches its arming range, it increases its speed, and then it starts penetrating through targets. So you can hit multiple targets in a line. If you can line all your enemies up, you can kill them pretty quickly with the Dahaka.
Cool.
Yep.
Exciting. Anything else you want to show off?
Anything else I want to show off? No, not at this juncture. It's too much spoiler information. Yeah.
I mean, it's coming next week. It's not too bad of a spoil. As long as you're not showing year 2 content, I'm okay. So going back on, I know there's a lot of question about what's coming in year 2, and again, we can't talk about it too much, but there's something we can talk about a little bit. People have been asking about the PvP mode, because we've announced, was it in July this year, that we are working on a dedicated PvP mode for people who want competitive, team-based PvP, essentially. And then we decided, we did some tests with our insiders internally, and we decided we needed a bit more time to really tune it and make it good. So can you tell us where are we with the PvP mode? Can anybody talk about it? I think, Ernest, you're quite in the middle of that topic, aren't you?
Whoa. This one is spicy. Right. In our internal playtests, we received some feedback, and we felt that the feedback was very valid. Some of these features that were requested for in the PvP mode were larger than what we had originally planned to ship with back then. And so we decided to hunker down, right? These are valid feedback. These are things from our players that we really, really cherish. And so we sat down and said, look, we're going to have to do it. And if we're going to have to do it, we're going to have to do it the proper way. And so we decided to invest in the tech and the systems that will enable for us to address some of these feedback. A lot of it had to do with progression. How does the PvP mode enable the PvE mode? And how does the PvE mode enable the PvP mode? So these are all questions that we had to ask and had to answer. We also had a question about variety. We wanted to release a little bit fewer, well, I would say presets and fewer zones. And so we started to explore some of these options as well and see how we can take them into the future as well.
Cool. No, I can speak as well. I can tell you basically that the changes we made to the PvP mode since we first started iterating on it are quite significant. We are kind of experimenting with different options on how to make it fun, how to make it action-packed but also strategic. So yeah, I can't wait to show it off to everybody. It's not quite ready, so it's not going to be season 4. but we'll be talking about it very soon. And if you want to help us make the PvP mode better, this the best way is to sign up for the Insider program. Usually we try to, so I've seen a question from the chat, like how do I join the Insider program? Usually we try to basically invite people who are spending a lot of time with the game already. The only requirement really to be part of the Insider program is to play the game. So you don't need to, there's no obligation to share feedback, there's no obligation to come on Discord. We just want people who have played Skull and Bones a significant amount of time, so we really understand what it is that they like about the content that we're working on. So it's gonna sound like I'm trying to make you play more, but essentially no. If you're already a very active player of Skull and Bones, there's a high chance you will get invited to the Insider program in the future. And yes, I know you can't join on Xbox or PS5 at the moment. The Insider program is PC only. We are looking in the possibility of extending it to consoles in the future, but it's not happening anytime soon, unfortunately. Alright, any more questions in the chat about Season 4? Send them our way. Or anything else that Gabe or Ernest want to talk about?
Come on,
in Season
Ernest,
4?
help me with SR16 Vikram.
Are you already farming Vikram?
Hey.
The season hasn't even started yet.
Also, you don't
Gotta
say
get
the
a head
progress you
start.
Oh,
made on that account, but
Right, wait, let me exit combat.
oh yeah, there's a tricky question. I missed it earlier.
Oh man. Yeah, I walked into this trap on my own.
The tricky question is, are we getting new sea monsters in Season 4, or what's happening with Season 4 sea monsters?
Right. Season 4, we are looking at
Oh man.
hang on. There's a guy on okay, wait. This is not important. Okay. In Season 4 we are looking at Vikram actually brings 2 sea monsters with him. These are our good friends, the Zama Haribu and the what's the name of the other one?
The Meg.
The Risen Zoma Haribu and Risen Mega
Lastari.
Lastari.
That's right.
Yes.
And so they died in Season 1 and Season 2, and we are bringing them back in a new form, in a variant form as well. Yep.
So it's like Season 4 is very much like everything is tied to Vikram, correct?
Yeah.
Essentially, he's the one who's like making all the sea monsters come back to life and
Yep,
in a
he
new
is
form.
back with a vengeance.
yes.
Yeah.
So can I? So obviously I know the answer to that question because we've had the Insider program playing Season 4, so I know how they feel about Season 4 in general. But can I ask you, Gabe or Ernest, to talk a little bit more about like what was the focus for Season 4 in terms of like did we focus more on the narrative and trying to wrap up all year 1? Is that really what we're trying to do with Season 4?
Yeah, I think for Season 4, if we're talking narratively, it's like we, as I mentioned at the start of streams, like, you know, we introduced like three, well, I guess 4 if you count the twins, characters over the past year, and you know, the question is like, you know, how do they relate to it? And I think for those who've been paying attention to the narrative, it's like they have basically all talked about Freeman's treasure to some extent, and we knew that is a question that we wanted to address. Like, for those who also play the investigations, you'll know that actually even by the end of the investigation chain of discovering, you know, what you thought might have been Freeman's treasure is only a small part. And so we wanted to actually finally bring you some answers to, you know, why was the heist so important, and how it factored into this whole myth around Freeman himself and the treasure. And so without really spoiling, and well, actually the trailers kind of spoiled it, but this is how we wanted to explain the aspect of the fantastical element to our game, and so I think there'll be something really interesting in terms of narrative and how it, at least it wraps up that arc.
Yeah, so I can tell like I was saying earlier, the feedback from insiders was actually quite positive on the narrative for season 4. So I'm really hoping that when players find out, the whole story, like kind of tying together between the different antagonists that came with season 1, season 2, season 3, and now season 4. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to how people respond to that.
Yeah,
essentially.
likewise.
So does that mean the narrative is finished? That's a good question.
Yeah. So the narrative isn't finished. I think we wanted to provide some aspect of closure, but it's not a complete closure to this narrative. Like, we know Freeman's still out there. What is his plans? Or why is he using the helm as part of his plans? So while we will reveal what Freeman's treasure is, what the motivation for Freeman's treasure was for, I think there's still a lot of things we can expand upon, and we are definitely already in discussions to see where we can take the story, and I think a very important part for us is like striking that balance between the historical playground that is the Indian Ocean, but also kind of giving our own spin to it.
Cool. Are you showing off new cosmetics, Ernest?
Oh no, I'm abandoning Gabriel in the last fight. It's too hard for me.
No.
I'll be back. Let me bring a proper ship to this one. But let me just get some of my smuggler pass items.
Okay, there's a question that keeps coming up on the chat. I know we probably won't have an answer for that one, but I feel like I have to bring it up. Hippo Nuggets coming with season 4.
Oh.
Hippo nuggets.
If I don't bring it up on every stream, I get in trouble with insiders. So I have to bring it up.
I thought we actually commissioned the work for it.
Yeah, no, I did that. I was the one who commissioned all of you.
All right.
You know what? Actually, maybe we should ask, as a food item, what exactly do they want out of the Hippo Nuggets?
All right, that's true.
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you all want Hippo Nuggets to give you when you consume it as a food in the game? Do you want it to be a speed boost? Do you want to be a damage boost? Do you want to be, I don't know. What are the options? What are the options, Gabe?
I think a lot of it has been relating to crew-related stats, like crew damage or stamina recharge and things like that. But I think as we're adding kind of new mechanics here and there, there's possibly a lot of cool things. And hippos are pretty badass creatures. They will absolutely tear up your ship. If you've seen a video where it was chasing like a speedboat along a river, I think we could get some inspiration of possibly something ramming. Hint, hint, wink, wink, in earnest.
Somebody in the chat says it should give you +5 in self-esteem.
+5 in self-esteem. +5 in streaming capabilities.
Yes.
Hey, I could use some of those nuggets now.
But I guess the good answer is we're definitely working on something related to hippos, right?
Yes, I can pretty much reveal as much as hippos will factor in.
Yes, but not for season 4, correct?
No.
Okay.
All right.
It's
But
coming.
there's one cool thing that I guess is a great time to show off. In season 4, we actually have the ship list. And in the ship list, you can actually manage your ships. This is a much requested QOL feature, I believe. And you can actually change your ship from here. And you can actually customize your ship from your ship list as well at the same time.
Yeah, so for those who were forgetful like me to equip your ship to be assigned to your manufactories, this is a lifesaver.
Yep. And it also helps you find, like, if you're trying to equip the gun on the ship, you don't have to unequip the ship, re-equip the ship, and change the gun.
Yeah.
It's the worst experience. So looking forward for you guys to, save some time there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Sorry, I'm going through all the questions, trying to figure out what we can actually answer. There's a lot of questions about next year. There's also a lot of very specific questions. I know there's a lot of things we're working on we can't talk about yet. So, for example, there's a question about ship upgrades. Are we doing changes to like how the menu looks for ship upgrades, things like that. So I know we can't go into details, but can we talk about the fact that we're doing something about the HUD and the UI in general?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, I can say that there is indeed pretty major UI work ongoing at the moment, and from what I've seen so far, it's looking mighty sexy looking. So like I think part of it is not just in terms of aesthetics, but functionally, like how can we reduce like the number of inputs you get to a menu? How do we better provide exposition to information, so you know what elements of the game are related, and how can you better understand the mechanics. So these are just some elements, and it also does include like revisiting things like the map. So very exciting. What we've seen is definitely moving in the right direction. What are you excited about, Ernest?
Oh man, what am I excited
Yeah.
about for the UI?
Yeah.
I can't see it. I can't see it.
So for the story, I've seen versions of it, and I was very excited about it, and I was told this is just an early concept and it's gonna get even better than that.
Yep.
Like without revealing anything to detail, I know that it's gonna look a lot cleaner, a lot darker, a lot more parity, I think, as well.
Yeah, you know when they first announced the dark theme on the iPhone, and everybody lost their minds.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I also know that we're looking at like any improvements that will make players' life easier in the game, right? So same thing. These are all things that we are working on. We can't really say yet when they're going to be ready or when they're going to be released. Again, it's not season 4 for sure because it's a lot of work. But if you have anything that you want us to really focus on when it comes to UI, like is it how the inventory works, how you navigate through the menus, or how do you interact with the vendors, or any elements on the navigation HUD that you think is either unnecessary, too big, too small, or something that's missing, keep the feedback coming, because these are all the information that we need from all of you, because you play the game so much, you know better than anybody else, like what are the little things that could be improved to make the experience better for everybody. Question about, can we hide the cranes on the brick in the bark?
Oh no.
Can we hide the cranes on the brick and the bark? Well, we can't share the information yet, but there's a little bit of work that's being done to see how that will go. I think I mentioned before that the cranes give the look of the survival repair bark, for instance. And we really like how it went. And so the player feedback says, can we remove it? And we're like, yes, we should take that into consideration. And it's all about the agency. We really want you guys to customize your ships as well. So we've done some investigation. We're not ready at this juncture to share the results of those investigations. And when we are ready, I'm sure you'll be pleased with it.
Yes, but it's definitely feedback that's been brought up in the past. We know that, I mean, some players like it, some people don't. I think at the end of the day, it's more of a question of giving the option to either have those things appear on your sheet or not, and having the option for players to just customize what they actually want their ship to look like. So it's kind of similar to what we discussed at the beginning. It sounds like an easy thing that we could just turn on and off. It's really not that easy. But we are looking at making sure that in the future, when you buy cosmetics or when you earn cosmetics in the game, when you apply them to your ship, you can choose, how it actually looks on your ship. So making sure that the armor doesn't overlap, for example, and making sure you can, add elements to your ship or hide elements to your ship. Okay. Do I want to be? Do you want to be mean? Who can tell me what the materials...
Mean to who? Mean to me or mean to Gabriel? You can be mean to Gabriel.
I mean,
it's okay.
mean to whoever wants to pick up that question.
All right.
I
Gabriel
know
picking it up.
I know it's going to be a tricky one. If you have the answer, I'll be very impressed. What materials are needed to craft a new ship?
Oh man, I literally just compiled the set of materials, mainly for my benefit. So when the season launches, I'll have everything ready to hit upgrade
I'm
6.
assuming that's why people are asking about it. They want to prepare for it, right?
So actually, I don't have it offhand, but honestly, it's still pretty much similar to a lot of the upgrade materials that you've already seen. So, you know, you'll have a mix of the helm materials as well as your higher tier materials. You know, like your green heart planks, your what else was there? Sinew strings. Yeah. So the stuff, the good stuff. So you know, I think a key part is that for season 4, we wanted to make sure also that these materials are more accessible in different ways as well. So like how you might have been collecting them, acquiring them through plundering forts, engaging with very specific elite warships. We wanted to also make it more available through the merchant convoy, so you would be able to get them. And also, you know, if you're not necessarily up for the level of challenge with some of the elite warships, that's a good way to acquire these materials.
Cool. I hope that helps everybody who wants to make sure they have everything they need before season 4. I didn't know who would be the best to answer the question, Ernest or Gabriel, but I guess I have my answer. You didn't know Ernest, did you?
No, I had no idea. I had no idea. Yeah, I to be honest, I didn't even see that question coming. I thought you were gonna ask me something. You know, what does it do? How much health does it
I
have?
like to pick questions from the chat that I did not expect to see, so this is one of them. Another question which I hope is a bit easier. So somebody is asking, because I think one of you just showed the fact with Vikram, is the new element from Vikram corrosive, similar to Lapest's poison, or is it different?
It's slightly different from the one that you've seen on Lapest. The Lapest poison actually goes through your brace strength, your brace resistance, and it goes also through your stamina. It eats up your stamina. Vikram's one actually stacks. Every time you receive, you see him do the Soul Blast, a ring of golden soul thingy flying at you. You'll gain 1 charge of something called Tainted. And Tainted stacks. Once it stacks to 2 to 3, you'll start having problems with your survival. So you need to bring the fights to be learned. How will you avoid Tainted charges? Will you bring an armor? Will you bring a furniture? Or will you know, find another way around it? Maybe hide in a soul shield, for instance. Yeah. So the fight is to be learned, and the fight is too hard. That's why I'm abandoning Gabriel one more time.
You changed ship
Terrible,
as well.
terrible.
Yeah, yep. I'm using
You
a
gave
Hulk.
up on the Garuda.
Yep. So there's a lot of things to learn about the fight. Like what kind of weapons you want to bring to the fight. Will it be useful in taking down his weak points? Will it be useful in taking down the barrier? What do you want to bring? And all of this will require communication. And what we're really trying to do here is we're trying to have Vikram's fight push the communication capabilities of our players. A lot of our fights today, when we observe players coming together, they're just throwing bodies at a dead at a target, which is what we well, it's fun for some cases, it's fun for some bosses, but Vikram's earlier versions, you'll be allowed to throw your body at the boss and get away with it, but Vikram's later versions, especially Mythic, that was not Mythic, right? It's gonna require communication, it's gonna require strategy.
Yeah, and I just want to add once again that this is a direct result of us getting feedback from the community saying we want more challenging fights, we want new game mechanics that forces us to, you know, think about how to approach each world event and each fight. So I feel like Vikram is already a pretty good step in that direction, in like introducing new game mechanics. I mean, to some extent it was the same with the Hubert twins, with DP and Ling, right? Every new season, every new boss comes with new weapons, new mechanics. But just to reiterate on this, is something we are intending to continue pushing for in the future, correct?
Correct. Well, let's see.
What I mean is that we are not just increasing difficulty by increasing HPs or making the boss do more damage. These are things that we can do in addition.
Yes.
But we're also always constantly thinking about how to bring new game mechanics, basically.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So we are trying to expand our repertoire of mechanics weapons, expand our repertoire of items, and we might be hitting a point where we are starting to turn the tide of our challenge looks like in our game. We won't just crank up the metrics, we just won't just crank up the stats just to get what we're looking for. Trying to make sure that players are thinking about what they want to equip, what they want to bring to a fight, to a region, to a world zone, to a boss, to a contract as well.
Cool. There's still a lot of questions. So just for context, for everybody who's asking questions in the chat, first of all, there's no way we can answer all of your questions in the 1 hour we have allocated, but I know there's also a lot of questions that are about things that are not coming just yet with Season 4, so we can't really talk about all the stuff that's coming after Season 4 just yet. But there's a lot of good stuff coming after Season 4 for sure. So just remember, beginning of the year, next year, we'll have more time to delve into like our plans basically for Skull and Bones in the year to come. Year 1 was very much a great learning experience for all of us. I think a lot of things that we had planned before launch went great. Some of the things we did not expect to happen happened, which allowed us to learn a lot, adapt, change some of the things already. And all those key learnings are going to help us make year 2 for Skull and Bones a bit more like focused on what we believe the community wants, right?
Yep.
So I don't want to say too much. I feel like I'm going to spoil something any minute at this point. But there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. So a lot of the recurring community requests that we've received since the launch of the game are coming.
Some of the longer term things that I believe our community has been asking for. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, these are the ones that drive the decision making in the next year.
Yep.
Yes. Before we end the stream, because it's going to be time very soon, I just want to repeat a couple of things. So first of all, I know on the chat, there's a lot of people who are asking about drops. Very sorry about that. There was a mistake done on our end with the category of the stream. Therefore, I don't think anybody was able to get the drops today. We still hope you got interesting information about what's coming in Season 4 and beyond. And we'll find a way to make it up to you so that you can claim those drops in a future stream. So again, apologies for this technical mistake on our end. We'll do better next time. Second thing, I know people are still asking about the seasonal reset. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the stream. So for the seasonal reset with Season 4, expect the same thing that we've done in Season 3 and Season 2. Soft reset on Pieces of 8, reset on manufactories, and upgrades, I think, and that's pretty much it. But also important information that Gabriel shared with us earlier today is that we're also looking into like moving away from the seasonal reset in the future. Any feedback you have on the seasonal reset, is it something that you think is necessary? If it's something that is frustrating for you, do you want us to keep it? Do you want us to stop doing it? Do let us know, and do let us know how you think we should approach it in the future so that we can continue to improve the whole Ham Empire building loop and the seasonal formula as well. I hope that answers the questions on this topic. Can we get the Outrigger canoe as a playable ship? I'm not sure what that question means.
The Outrigger canoe is one of the small ships we have in our game. There's only the dhow that's available to the player today. Yeah. Can we get the Outrigger canoe?
Well, I guess the answer is no right now.
Yeah, the answer is no right now. Yes, it's true.
But I guess we can also say that we know that some people are very attached to the dhow and feel like the dhow is being very neglected in the game right now, and that we are looking into ways to make the dhow more relevant in the future.
Definitely.
Yep.
So before we introduce another very small ship, we want to make the dhow great again.
Make the dhow great again. Yes.
Maybe we'll print hats and everything. New cosmetic for you too.
How does Alexi get us to work on features that the community wants? Print hats.
Yes. Cool.
Man.
Yeah, you want to say something?
Nope. I'm just completely out of torpedoes, so I think I am absolutely screwed in this fight.
I was gonna say earlier, I think I have seen you die more on this fight than I've ever seen anybody die in just 1 hour.
Yeah, as you can see, like I've just been like hiding in the shields whenever he releases the shockwave. So positioning's more important than ever with the Vikram boss fight. So I hope like this new challenge will be an interesting one for you guys out there.
Yeah. Sorry, there was something I wanted to reach, but I missed it. I lost it. Okay, I think this is pretty much it for today. Thanks again, Gabriel, Honest, for tuning in and coming to answer the questions. Like I said, apologies for the drops. We will find a way to make it up to all of you, either through another stream or more drops in the future. We'll make it work. For those who didn't get it, just full context, the drop that was supposed to be working today is a firework, is the deck firework, so you're not missing on anything too crucial to your gameplay, but yeah, we understand that fireworks are very popular, so we'll try to make it work next time. Thanks again for all the questions. We will definitely have more to talk about in the upcoming weeks about Season 4. Of course, there's a trailer coming out. There's going to be information about the seasonal reset and what's going to happen in the transition from Season 3 to Season 4 through our website, like every time at the end of the season. And we are getting very close to the point where we can talk about what's coming next in Year 2 of Skull and Bones. So I know you all have a lot of questions about what key features we can expect in Year 2. We'll talk about it very soon. So yeah, thank you for your patience. Please keep the feedback coming. All the requests you have are very good for us to help us build our roadmap for the game. So keep it coming. And if you, I know there's also a few questions about bugs. We can't really talk about bugs on the chat right now. But if you still encounter bugs in the game, please go to the bug reporter. It really helps us to identify what are the bugs that are affecting most of our players and understand better how to address them. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, guys.
Gabriel, I hope you had a good time. I hope you come back again soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this has been great.
Thanks for inviting
Yeah,
us.
love the questions, love the passion from the community. Hope to answer more in the future.
Definitely.
Oh.
I'll be calling
We'll
upon,
answer some season Year 2 questions when the stream comes live.
I will be calling upon you again for sure. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Twitch chat, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.